Hello and welcome to a Destiny 2 video. So buildcrafting in Destiny 2 can be a lot of fun, but it can also be quite confusing. You've probably seen build videos online, and you might wonder how the heck people come up with these sorts of things. Well, this is not a build video, this is a how-to build video. So if you're looking at taking a crack at making a build of your own, hopefully this video will help you out. Now, there isn't anything wrong with taking a build from a video. It's really fun to try things YouTubers and maybe your friends might figure out. So if you're someone who would rather take a build from someone else, that's totally fine. This video will also have tips to help you figure out if it's a good build for you or not. And because this is YouTube, I've made some steps and put numbers on them, so let's get into it. So first, you want to have a goal in mind. There's a near infinite combination of aspects, fragments, weapons, weapon perks that can go into a build. So you're going to want to narrow your build down if you're trying to put something together. An easy place to start is to build around a specific exotic you like, an aspect you think is useful, or an ability that you think is cool. If you read the description of an exotic and think, hey, that sounds cool, you can make a build around that exotic. This will give you some direction if you have absolutely no idea where to start. For instance, if you like Bleak Watcher turrets, pick other things that get your grenade back. If you prefer not to be perceived or like going invisible, pick fragments that extend, enhance, or benefit from being invisible. If you like bonk hammers on Titan, pick melee abilities and things that benefit from melee abilities. Also, if you're using someone else's build, having the goal of that build in mind is important as well. You'll need to understand the gameplay loop of that build in order to get the most out of it. So if it's a good build video, they're actually going to review with you what you should be doing to get the most out of that build. Some builds require kills, some might require finishers, some require certain buffs and debuffs be active at certain times. So if you're getting a build from someone else, definitely make sure to have that all in mind. Next, you're going to want to make sure you read all the descriptions of everything you're using. So once you have your goal, now it's time to evaluate your options. And most importantly, exotics can require certain ability types in order to have their effects work. So you don't want to be throwing away your exotic armor perk because you're running a fusion grenade instead of a solar grenade. So double check the description of the exotic you're using to ensure that you're benefiting from its perk. You're going to want to make sure that the aspects and fragments also feed into the goal that you set in step 1. So again, if you're doing a grenade build, you're looking for grenade stuff. If you're looking for a melee build, you're looking for melee stuff. If you have a goal to guide you, everything else should fall into place. That being said, you do have a lot of options, and it will be a lot of reading. In the subclass screen, if there's an effect that's part of an aspect or fragment, it'll give a description of what that effect is as a pop-up, so be sure to read those descriptions. And Prismatic makes it a little more complicated because some of the effects are going to be dependent on some of your abilities, like your super, grenade. Destiny is also a complicated game, so in some instances a description might not be clear, might not give you 100% of the story. So if you want more information on a mod, effect, or a perk, anything really, there's a lot of community tools like the Community Insights tab of Destiny Item Manager, D2 Foundry for weapons, or the Destiny Data Compendium the community has put together to give a lot more detail, like percentages and things like that. Like, what exactly does Radiant give me? You know, what exactly is the percentage that it gives me? So if you're ever curious about something like that, use one of those tools, and I've put links to those tools in the description. So I thought it would be good to show an example, starting with a goal, how you kind of evaluate your options to meet that goal. So last season, I noticed Felwinter's Helm. I noticed it. I just looked at it, and I said, this looks cool. Powered melee final blows create a burst of energy that weaken nearby targets. It also applies like a disorienting around them, and it also works on finishers. So I thought Strand would be a great fit for this because Arcane Needle, you get 3 of those charges, and the Grapple Grenade is a powered melee kill, so it does work with the Grapple Grenade. So then, okay, I have my subclass, I have my, abilities, whatever. Next we're going to look at the aspects and fragments. So we're going to pick aspects and fragments that build into melee. So first we have a fragment, Thread of Fury. Tangles, damaging with tangles create melee energy. So that's going to feed into our helmet. We also have, while I have Woven Mail, weapon final blows create a tangle. Thread of Warding, Orb of Power grants woven mail, so more threadling or tangle opportunities. And then finally, Thread of Generation, because that's just good to have on any strand subclass, really. And then for the aspects, Wander is really good because Threadling Final Blows create tangles. It also gives us some suspension, which is, suspension's always very nice. And then Mindspun Invocation, when we do one of our punches, that's going to spawn Threadlings. And we just said Threadlings make more tangles, and that's going to feed into Thread of Fury, granting more melee energy. In terms of weapon, I love Quicksilver Storm. It's already a really good gun, but it also benefits this build because it will also make tangles with the grenade. And then again, since we're running Fiddlewinter's Helm, we're going to be picking melee-based mods. So I just have heavy-handed because I like making orbs. And then in the boots, we have things that make orbs better because we have a couple orb generation perks already. And then finally, this is an interesting one. This is probably the only time I'm ever going to use Proximity Ward. Gain a powerful overshield while performing a finisher, because this does work with finishers as well. So, I'll take a free overshield if I'm already doing finishers. So that's kind of the process there. Once I started with Fiddlewinter's Helm. I said, okay, let me just pick all the things that make Fiddlewinter's Helm awesome. I also kind of thought like, oh, Fiddlewinter's Broodweaver, that would work, and then everything else kind of fell into place. So if you have a direction in mind, pick a place to start, and everything else will fall into place. Next, you are going to want to try it out. So once you get your build set up, you've read everything, you've put all the perks and things together, you're going to want to take it into some activities. So it's a good idea to take it into some higher level content as well, because literally everything will work in the Strike playlist. So try a Nightfall or something of higher difficulty. If you only play the Strike playlist, that's totally fine. Then go have fun playing in the Strike playlist. But if you want to get into some higher level stuff, you should test your build in, the content that you're going to be doing. In PvE, I'd recommend the 50 Wave Onslaught to test out a build. When Into Light was going on, I loved running an Onslaught to test out something new, because it increases in difficulty as it goes, so you can kind of ease your way into it naturally. Otherwise, you can just play how you play normally and see how it feels. Also, you want to give your build some time to cook. One strike or one PvP match is not going to be enough to evaluate a build completely, unless, something's not working and you really need to change something. So the final step is one that a lot of people struggle with. It's that they forget that this is a video game, and the importance is having fun. Like I said, there's a near infinite combinations of exotic armor, weapons, aspects, fragments, armor mods, weapon mods. There's bound to be something that you're going to enjoy. Like with the exotic class items, there's 64 combinations for each singular exotic class item, and that's a single exotic on a single subclass type. So don't get discouraged if there's like a popular build that everybody says is really cool that really isn't for you. Like, I'm going to share some of my shame. Warlock Sunbracers, I just cannot wrap my head around it. Like, I know it's super powerful and all that, but it's just too many steps for my smooth brain. But I find builds that are super fun with simpler gameplay loops, and those are what work for me. Good luck, have fun. You're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time too, but buildcrafting is fun. Especially when you put together something and then, it really cooks, I really like that Fiddlewinter's Helm build. I had a lot of fun with it last season. So yeah. So this is my first Destiny 2 video. I hope you found it helpful and useful and all that. I've been playing this game a lot over the last few years. I love it a lot. But I noticed a lot of people were having trouble, putting builds together, and they were like, I don't even know, people were even having trouble using builds that like streamers would make. So I thought this video would be helpful. Let me know if you thought it was helpful in the comments, of course. I also stream sometimes on Twitch. I've been streaming a lot of Destiny. I might stream some other stuff once the Destiny stuff dies down. But I hope you all have fun with this. That's all for me, and take care.